Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card. Thanks sponsors, Topps Panini, Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huckington Scott Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. I've said this is content conversation number 3, which it came from that, but this is more like the outtakes. We had finished the allotted time, and then I won't say nobody wanted to leave, but people just hung around. So we had our list of questions we voted on, and so the first question and the second question were those that got the first highest number of votes and the second highest. And at the end of the time, because I'm running it reasonably tight to do 15 minutes per time, we still had some time and people had things they wanted to talk about. This just spontaneously came up of Rob Veras, who was new to the content conversation group because he's from Southern California, but he was in for the show. He's got a great Instagram daily thing, a lot of followers and super legit content creator. And so inviting him, and he said that Southern California was the epicenter of the hobby. And I'm famous for saying that I think it's Dallas, but it's all in fun. But you can see there was a spirited discussion, and I thought I'd just keep the recorder going and let you listen in on that. It's one of those things you can make a claim, but you can't empirically prove it or justify it other than it's my opinion against yours. And frankly, that's part of the fun of the hobby and of sports, is that you can have an opinion that one player's better than another, and maybe their batting average is higher or they scored more touchdowns, but still it's hard to make all things equal. And if it's your preference for this person over, that's just your opinion. So again, a lot of these topics were like that. I've gotten a fair amount of not necessarily criticism, but comments on this, just because if you put 16 people in the room, all who have these regular opportunities to content create, they're going to have different opinions. And in a 15-minute format, we're not going to have a judge and jury where we come up with a final answer. Again, this was more of the same, but I appreciate you listening. Hope you enjoy it, as I said, as much as I do. We'll not doing these content creator casual dinners every time, but I'm doing it enough times that get a fresh group and fresh topics. Thanks, everybody.
Southern California is the epicenter of the industry, and I will argue that till my dying day.
I disagree with you.
I will, dude. Where is the epicenter?
Dallas,
right here.
Dallas,
For 3 days, every 2 months.
No.
All year. All year.
Beckett,
All year
Heritage.
Yeah, I'm talking a retailer, transactional, customer perspective.
There's tons of card stores around here compared
There's
to
like
the
30
normal
card stores
city.
in town now.
No, but
Nick's,
I think he's right. How many dollars?
They're not your
way more
kind
dollars.
of
You know how many people are here from California right now?
We do need better card stores.
How many card shops in the Valley? I'm curious.
Not as many as you
Yeah,
would.
I know of one in
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Lameda, South Bay Cards. I know of.
I just like to think it because I'm there, maybe. LA and Dallas, then maybe Chicago are the 3. Would you agree with that?
You're saying them in the wrong order.
Yeah, for different reasons.
I mean, New York, New
Dallas.
Jersey is,
Yeah.
and Philadelphia,
It's all driving.
all
That's
within
why.
100 miles here. That's just awesome.
If you look at a heat map of the United States at night, you can see where people live. But I was in Anaheim in '91, and it's the last one I was at, and it was crazy. So I believe there can be a national on the West Coast.
The West Coast is so underserved, it's ridiculous. Now, we're doing a
It's
show
because the
end
East
of
Coast-
August, and it's going to be nothing like this. In Burbank. It's 5 minutes from my shop.
Where, the Holiday Inn or whatever that
Marriott Convention Center,
Okay.
right across from the airport.
No, there's a big Holiday Inn there.
Yeah, it's a good sized one. But if the national committee will never come back to LA because it's just too expensive, but they can charge whatever the hell they want for tables right now. I'm just like, to me, it is the financial center of the industry, from deals going down back and forth. It's not even a matter of shops.
There's more money going.
It's just, you go to a trade night in Southern California, it's insane. You know how many card shows are going on in Southern California? They're not big, but they're all the time, and they are packed.
You got Frankenstein's.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, as someone that's been there a
You
long
could have
time.
it inland. You could have it somewhere in the Inland Empire. You could have Ontario, whatever. I'm sure there's
Long
always-
Beach.
One thing I like about the old Anaheim shows, where there were tons of hotels within
Yeah.
walking
Most of
distance.
them are, most of them are crappy hotels.
They
but
may
yeah,
be
you're right.
crappy, but frankly, the George
Family
Washington, it can't be
activities,
worse
yeah.
than the George Washington Motor Lodge.
Hey.
There's enough, and then if you want to drive, if you want to do fun activities, if it's an arm and a leg, you got Disney
Knott's Berry,
Land,
Disney.
Knott's
The
Berry.
beach. The beach is a pretty big deal.
You're not
Go
that
skiing.
far. You're
Go
15,
skiing.
20 minutes from
You go
the
skiing.
ballpark, whatever the name is nowadays.
You can go visit your cards at Collector's Universe
Go
in
see
Santa
the,
Ana.
go see the
Does
I think
the,
Cal's found a good recipe here with the hotel and these conference rooms and the trade night. And the hotel
agree.
doesn't stop any of it and lets it go all night long.
Right.
Oh, it's all inclusive. It's amazing here.
how about
relationship too, by the way. Well, do you think
It's a
that
tough relationship.
about 15 to 20% of our VIPs come in from California. I mean,
Oh, wow.
it's crazy.
Wow.
Oh my God, it's the ultra modern market in the Southern
Yeah,
California
that's the thing.
market. It's these 25, 30-year-olds. I'd put us up against anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's
Travel.
close.
You should charter a flight.
Oh,
Let them all
right.
come together in a.
It'd be trade night all the way. Then everyone's
yeah,
in their
yeah,
seats.
you're right.
Any field that happen to play.
Pelican cases around.
Burbank Express.
I got
flight's
news.
so long,
If there was a
get back to
national in
card
Southern
shirt.
California, it would dwarf anything that's been before. First, it's the
Never
pent up
gonna find out.
demand.
We're never going to find out.
We're never going to find
Let's
out.
do, let's do the National Card Show in Southern California.
Let's do it.
I'm with you.
Let's go. You heard it here
Well, you
first.
can't call it the National.
Our National Card Show.
You can call it anything you
Call
want.
it in.
You do?
Yeah, you remember, we don't have a code.
You still
no
mail
one's
it
got
back.
it.
Yeah, we don't have It might be a problem.
Good housekeeping here in Burbank. They left out there. I mean, I don't.
Cut that part about ethics out.
You still would.
There's such an opportunity there. It's ridiculous.
And as I said, Anaheim, even if it's expensive, it's a good area
Yep.
with things to do and enough hotels nearby where you could probably do something.
Even
And
as
Southern
its own
California is the
airport.
ultimate destination too during the summer. I don't know.
Right now, we're in Atlantic City, Chicago, Cleveland will probably get, now that the Epicenter has been saved, it will be back in Cleveland at some point.
Yeah.
And there are other places, it's not a lot, but there are other places that can work.
A lot of places that can work. I'm here to tell you
Yeah,
that.
you know.
I know. I've been to all of them.
Kimberly Hutchinson.
Yep.
Kyle's strength is that he doesn't absolutely need the corporates. The National is dependent on the corporates, and they can dictate what's going on.
why I
You've
like it.
created something that's dealer-centric.
It's your first time
Once you get the dealers, you get 700 or 800 dealers
It
in
starts
Anaheim.
attracting-
It's a big show, and then the corporates say,
We wanna
the
be
card
able to-
companies say we need to be
Exactly.
there, but you don't let them dominate. It's mainly a card show.
They have to
which
go
I
where their
think-
customers
Well, that's
are.
been intentional. You've done that intentionally.
I'm saying
Now
that's,
on the stock market.
but that's the recipe, Rob.
But Kyle, when I sold out my
Promo
inventory
cards
this year,
and all that stuff.
and our event sales manager at ComC says, by the way, we'd like you to start setting up at Kyle's show. And Kyle, we don't take a lot of space. We just have a table, and we love the Starlight Room.
Yeah.
And it's a small corporate presence. It's not huge. We're very happy. We get more cards. They go to Philadelphia. We got 3 times as many cards as they get in Philadelphia.
What is up 4 times?
Man,
Twice?
Philadelphia.
It's twice. Philadelphia is the best vintage card show there.
It is.
Other than the National, I'll tell you
Actually,
that.
Strongsville is not a bad
Strongsville.
vintage card show either.
The best part about what you're doing here, Kyle, is when you bring the corporates here and all the autograph guests, you just have lines of people that are wrapped around the corporates, they're wrapped around and they're not at the dealer tables. And that's why I love what you have here, is it's the
That's-
purest of card shows. And it's awesome. And you also got so many vendors here with price points. And that you go to a lot of shows now, and it's just showcases of slabs. I haven't seen this many singles for sale and putting your hands on cards at any show in a long time. I think that's huge. When you bring the corporates and the autograph guests, you take so many people off the floor, and you're charging for these tables, but these people aren't on the floor. They're stuck in these lines for freebies and for autographs that they're paying a lot of money for.
I've always wondered why some dealers don't get creative and say, hey, can you put me near the autograph line as possible, or as near this line as possible? And then, okay, maybe those people aren't stopping, but you have a chance to chat. They're standing online. They're in front of your table. You have a chance to talk to a whole bunch of people. And if
Right.
you hit 10% of them buying something from you or even getting engaged, it's a win.
Captive audience.
A captive audience. I did that once when I was doing
Love the
baseball.
food line. The food line is
I
great.
did that once in
Yeah.
Albany, New York for Baseball Hobby News. And Mickey Mantle was signing. And I asked Ed Keats, and his dad Frank is still living at age 94, which I was very pleased to hear. Is Ed put me as close to the autograph line as possible. He got me like really close. And I was basically just doing the favorite player voting. I had a couple of tchotchkes for sale, but not very much. And the people were online, they were talking to me. I was doing wonderfully. And I was getting names of everybody stopped by. That, oh, this is fine. This is harmless. Here's your free sample. Okay. Oh, all I want is that. Okay, fine. And so you need to take advantage. We as dealers should also learn how to take advantage of those situations instead of moaning about it.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to use that to my advantage?
If you're careful, he's liable to do it.
Hey, Rob's good.
You're starting and you off to the races maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
34,000 followers on Instagram. Now.
Just hit it today, actually.
You got one more. I just
Oh, man.
I just followed you.
I didn't even know you could talk on into your camera and put a video on Instagram 2 years ago. I'm just an old Facebook
Yeah,
guy.
right.
And someone said, you should do some videos for Instagram. I'm like, what do you mean? And
You should do some dancing for
Was it your son that said it? Or
No,
somebody else?
it was somebody else. They're like, you're such a wealth of information. You should share it on IG. And I started.
Now
And I
I'm
did.
getting caught on
I did it
IG.
almost religiously. I take a few days off here and there, but for the most part, it was at least 6 days a week. I was doing it, and it was cathartic. And I get so many people that just
brain
appreciate just this different kind of content, where I know I've made impacts in people's business lives, and I think I'm funny too.
Well, you have
So,
credibility too, which helps, right?
I would think so.
Absolutely.
So.
Leo, you've done some videos for the Dallas Card Show.
Yeah.
How much of a reaction have you gotten from those?
A lot. It depends on what audience you're trying to captivate. I'm not sure how many vintage collectors are watching my TikToks, but it definitely pushes our reach into other places and gets different eyes.
What strikes me about this show is there's a lot of kids on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Especially once, like, you can tell when kids are not in school. Because yesterday was dull up until, oh yes, the kids are out of school now.
Best thing I saw today was 2 kids in baseball uniforms.
Mike, you went to a show with Missoula.
Montana. It
Missoula,
was
Montana.
nuts
Did you
how many
say
kids.
there was the highest percentage of kids you'd ever
I swear every adult was attached to a kid that was in there, and it was packed.
How many
And
kids does Ty have?
How do they get there?
6. But
Well, there you go. That's why. There's something going on out there.
numbers are skewed.
Something.
It was amazing. And like Missoula, Montana, we're like, oh, this is going to be a dud. It was fantastic.
Well, you, Ty, and Ryan were all there.
That's true.
You're happy you lost that. I was gonna say, I thought that
I had to go because it was bad. Yeah, it was gorgeous.